5:55. On with the show. $5.55. I'm gonna get a drink, see a man about a horse, and then come back. Hopefully some of you will be joining me by then. We'll get on with the show. The show. Four minutes. I don't know even what I'm drawing, so what I'm going to draw. We'll play it by ear. That's what makes it fun. Go through these boys like they're coming out of style. Someone's here already. Hey, thanks, Ray. Thanks, roommate Ray. I'm trying to frame this not as it's an anniversary party, but since we can't have the party we usually have, this will be the party. And since I'm not drinking, this will be brought to you by melon-flavored bubbly water, which I think you can have on your cleanse. There's nothing in it but water, really. How about bubbly? There might be one in our fridge. Okay. Let's make a tea bunny. Let's make a tea bunny. Need some caffeine. Tea. I'm gonna make it through 9 seconds tonight. Who knows what we're going to do? I hope it's fun just for you. Watch just what we do. Studio tonight. Little helper. There might only be one back there, Ray. This is my last one. Oh man, it's 6 already. Holy cannoli. Guys, I'm making some tea. This is gonna be a very casual live stream tonight. In fact, I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to draw, but I didn't want to take the night too serious. And I had these pictures of Sarabella from her Instagram that I had printed out so long ago. This one might even have the day on it. That I've been waiting to draw, so I might do a few drawings tonight. They're not gonna be like super tech long pose, I don't think. I got like my materials on a tray. I don't even know what's on here. I've been cleaning up, and this is actually the mess part of my life. So it's just like, I haven't organized these into drawers or anything yet. It is what it is. In fact, I've got newsprint down here. I'm not 100% sure I'll even draw newsprint. Maybe I'll draw this one first on newsprint just as a warm-up, and then I'll draw that one maybe on the tan paper I've been using with, I don't know, pastel or Conte or something. It's fun. No master copy tonight, for once. Thank you guys for joining me. It is our 4th anniversary here at the studio. Oh, there's a timer. And I'm making a tea right now, so I'm going to start late. There's no screen in front of me. I'm just going to work from paper. So you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I might tape this one in front of me because it's a little bit bigger. But I can scan up just so you can see what's going on in here. It's not a big deal. That's just your comments. Ray Kruger, make more creative. And then all the OBS, the camera capture. Normally I would put the image up here, but I have these printed out. So maybe I'll show you how I would fold paper, how to study them. I don't know, you guys can screenshot that. I got it off Sarabella's, I don't even know which one of her Instagrams. Speaking of make more creative, are you next door right now? If you're still listening, are you my neighbor tonight? Sweet. No tunes allowed here. I was pretty sneaky with that Instagram ad. Ugh. I hid and remixed an happy anniversary song from 1978, and I figured it wasn't going to catch the Instagram or the algorithm. Speaking of algorithm, while people are still coming to join, you'll notice that all the pictures I printed out, there's no boobs or other body parts. I do have a male too, but I might save him for next week. Actually, I don't even know where he went. I find studying the male is better if you're going to go forward and talk about anatomy and landmarks, as well as more structural things because of the leanness or the muscle definition like we saw in the back last week. But today, not at the studio. Okay. But today I want to talk about like smoothness and flow and lines, and the female body is far better for that. And I don't want to make this a lesson. I just wanted to have fun tonight since I'm supposedly celebrating by myself. As many of you know who've had parties with me, the studio parties are amazing. All the events and classes here are amazing, but the studio parties, I would throw down like $800 on booze and food, and you get to meet all the other students. There's over 60 students here, and 20 to 30 people who do life drawing, and then the parents and the kids and the cSPACE staff. So hundreds of people would come at different times, not all at once. And what was really cool, my neighbor, Greg, who'll probably make some comments on here, he's always on the live stream, which is great. But his comment was, wow, it's really interesting. You have every type of person here. And I said, well, what do you mean by that, every type of person? And he said, every age and every demographic. And it's true, at that party, we had, I have 70-plus-year-old students, ladies, gentlemen of all races, and also sizes. But the other interesting thing is there was little kids like my nephew and stuff running around and playing. I had this big beanbag chair and they would jump on it. But also there was a pregnant girl. So we had pre-life age all the way up to, I think about 78 years old, which is pretty cool. That art just can bring everyone together. And there should be no restrictions on it. Maybe if you don't have eyes, then it's sculpture. sculpture, as many of you also know, I talk about all the time because white marble is some of my favorite work. And a lot of these live streams are studies from white marble sculpture that I photographed in Italy or Paris, Holland, wherever. And it's nice because the Barg studies and the types of things that you should be studying to be a better drawer are all renditions of white marble sculpture, because drawing is only black and white. We don't need the color. And I don't know, they're just inherently beautiful. Whether or not they're white doesn't matter. It just happens to be from bleaching from the sun what most of them look like now. So I think we'll start with this complex angles and stuff like that. And I'm gonna get rid of Sarah's comment. If, there we go. If you're interested in finding this photo, this is Instagram, Sarabella Fine Art. You'd have to go back. This might, and GS photo album. I'll give the props out where I can. I don't know where this one came from, but it might be within her same Instagram profile. But yeah, back to these. Nothing is showing. YouTube has now pulled 3 of these instructional videos for whatever their reasons are. They're the boss, right? I'm not as powerful as they are. That Michelangelo one really broke my heart because it's a Michelangelo drawing. There was no other nudity, but I think the robot, maybe something I said, because there's captions on and it types out the words. I probably said the PENIS word, and it probably caught me on that. There is no reference drawing Robin. I went on this Sarabella Fine Art. I just went on her Instagram and printed these out. I actually did it a while ago, so they're not recent. And I just had them laying around. I'm not doing a master copy this week, and I'm not doing instruction. I'm celebrating 4 years, so I want to have fun. And these have been sitting in the drawer. They're pretty ratty, actually. And I just want to get them done. All right. I just have to answer this. Guys, another student here, Jennifer Peters, is having a show on the 4th floor. There's no opening. You have to come by appointment. But I've never seen a show on the 4th floor here so full. And there's lots of good work. And she's a student here. In fact, she's the only student I still have here. She's taking private lessons with me once a week, which is an option for you guys. I'm not really advertising it because unfortunately it's not cheap. So I haven't really been pushing it. So, you know, I got to pay for me and I got to pay for the room. It's not like the classes where you kind of spread the cost across a few people, right? So, but my second favorite holiday is coming up as well. This has been a good week. My roommate, Ray Kruger, who's on the chat here, he saved my butt. My battery on my car in -27 won't start. He boosted me Monday to come to work, Monday to go home from work, Tuesday morning he boosted me, and then he took me to Costco and I got a new battery and a battery charger. So actually I'm feeling pretty good about the Mercury retrograde car situation. Yeah, this is pretty much how classes are with me. I just talk about whatever. And I'm not drunk. I'm sober. So it's not really a celebration, I guess. You don't need to drink alcohol to have fun. So we're going to go for 25 minutes. Who knows? Maybe I'll get all the line drawing done for this. I mean, I'll put this back up on the screen. I will be drawing bigger than this, of course. I'll like put it right here maybe. But when you guys are at home and you're printing stuff out, and it just needs to be black and white because we're drawing in black and white. So I like this composition. I don't know that this ratio of width times height is equal to my paper. In fact, clearly it's not. This is much longer. And so by using... Are we back? Okay. No data. Let's see. It says excellent collection. Guys, remember to guard your privacy. We're back. I'm going to give it another minute. I don't know what happened there. The Wi-Fi is really weak. Let me talk about my hippiness. In my pocket, I have this magical thing I got at Earth Gems the other day. Matches my shirt. It's Mercury retrograde. And I honestly would like to say that I'm not superstitious, but weird things have been happening. I think someone's been putting some black magic on me or something. But honestly, the thing that is supposed to be happening during Mercury retrograde is that there's technical difficulties. And I've had Zoom classes. I teach animation Monday nights. Things are crashing. Computers aren't starting. Phone is dying constantly. I'm having car problems. I had a flat tire and a dead battery. So I'm not surprised that the Wi-Fi is dropping. Unfortunately, I'm not attached to a hard line here. It is all Wi-Fi here at cSPACE. If I wanted to pay $80 extra a month, I could have a plug. But I prefer to just use the Wi-Fi as it is. So I'm going to grab my tea. Oh yeah. Guys, it's Doug Swinton's birthday. Here, he's sending me a little chicken. Wish him a happy birthday. If you guys know who Doug is and follow him. We're 2 days late, but this is when the live stream happens. I'm gonna send him it right now. I'm actually having fun already because it's just whatever. I'm gonna get my tea. Then we'll get going. Hopefully by now, Robin, I know you're looking for an image. I think I'm gonna do this one first though, because this one doesn't have a lot of shadow work. We'll just work on shapes, and I'll show you on paper how I measure. Because why not? It'll be much bigger than this too. You are also seeing it. At an angle. So happy birthday to Doug Swinton. Okay, let me get my tea. Then we'll start this timer. This is what you get when it's free. Sounds as well. Hey. What's that? Yeah, for sure. Just watch what you say. We're live. All right. So Jennifer's here, and you guys already heard me say come to her show. Did you find a printer? If not, you can attempt to hook your printer up to my printer there.
It's okay.
It's low on toner though.
I got it.
Good. I'm glad. All right, so let's start with this one now. I like to fold in the paper to get rid of all the distractions, if possible. So make sure when you're folding, things are staying straight. I'm counting this time. We're doing 25 minutes, upon tomorrow. And I mean, you don't have to have it perfect, but let's get rid of all this distracting stuff. So when I fold it, I sometimes look for a body part and then slide it across because I just want it to touch the side. You can have overlap, but sometimes you want to see where the edges are in case you're doing the type of drawing style where you need the edges to measure off of, like bar drawings and stuff. Hey, there's Greg. Thanks, Greg. You've been to every party I've hosted here, and you come to all the live streams, and I appreciate it. And I love that you're leaving chats, leaving me some live chat messages. After that other chat you did that got thousands of hits, tell me what America's become on my YouTube video. Let's see if it starts a conversation. Okay, so I've got this lovely rectangle. It's like Sarah is in a box. And because it's all equidistant, edge to edge, maybe there's a little space overhead, I'm simply going to make a crosshair by folding it in half. Now, every week, you guys who join me, you know that I do a different technique. This is one that I've actually never done, but it's a concept that I think works for me. Because now I have my plumb line in the middle. So if you print something out on your home computer, you know, you have a crosshair. And if we look, it's above the epicondyle. I don't know, it crosses through close to here. It's about where the breast touches the leg. Well, why did I list 3 things? Because we need 3 points of contact on any plumb line. This plumb line, by the way, it goes straight down her leg, down the side of her foot to her pinky, and maybe where the knuckle crosses. And we got a 4th one, the 7th cervical vertebrae here. You know, sometimes you got to slide your lines over, but let's just try to find out what's in each quadrant. Let's have a quick look. It's origami time, right? We've got this. So if I go corner to corner, that whole bit's gone. All the drawings just in this little part of the quadrant. Here it's taking up a large block. You know, and you get the idea. I like to also think of this crosshair, this plumb, and this horizontal. America is becoming a third world country. Go, conversationalists. I wish Keith and Jeff were on here already. They'd have something to say about that. But think of it like a sniper. It's balance, you know? Yesterday when I was at Earth Gems, I saw these little plum things, and I guess they're pendulums, and you can like tell the future, but I was eyeing them up and thinking, you know, that's perfect for drawing. You could have it on a necklace, pull it down, and then you'd have a string in front of you that you could see what the center line of your model is. Thing is after you've trained your eye enough, these things are crutches. You could also fold your paper at this point to match. And I'm not saying it's the same ratio. All I need to know is where the center line is. So today I've got this pile of stuff, and I don't know. Let's maybe start with a little bit of layout pencil. I would just do light pencil or graphite, but I want you guys to be able to see. And we're starting on newsprint. Actually, forget it. Forget the graphite idea. Let's see if I got any Conte Sharp. Well, I got charcoal. This is hard charcoal. It's not very dark. Wolf's Carbon. I said this was going to be off the cuff today, so I don't have a plan except to enjoy the process. And that's, you know, drawings also work, but you should enjoy it as well. Otherwise, I mean, why are you wasting your time here? Why'd you stop? Another hard one. That's what she said. Okay. Sometimes I think it's smarter to just censor my character. And sometimes I'm just so goofy and dorky. And I'm not doing it for the views. It's just the way it is. So this is a layout pencil. It's a dark graphite. Hopefully dark enough for you guys to see. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's dark enough. Okay. So we're going to use a multitude of techniques. Some more classical drawing. Others maybe more like a short pose. But I'm not going to worry so much about that gesture, which is here. That curvature is here. But I do want to look here, and if I take a measure of her head, you know, she's about 4. So if I also take it the other way, she's like 2.5. So if I draw a big circle, because her head is on this side, That gives me, oh, I hope that's dark enough. A good start. Might have to find something darker, guys, for you. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, this is gonna be real sketchy today. I think that's Conte. All right. I see her brow, this part here up to the ear, and then maybe show where her little chin is. She is on, can't even see the fold, on this side of the fold, like that, just to give an indication. So let's do it like shapes. So I go head, chest, and then hips. Or if you don't have that, actually let me clip this here. This isn't gonna bother things at all. And I'll try to point to it as often as possible. Hopefully the light is directly above me, and hopefully that doesn't shine you guys in the eyes too much. I notice my camera view looks very different than what you guys are getting on. That's a little bit better. Hey, thanks, Navin, if you're still live. I don't know how long it takes for me to see the chats, but I like them. I'm thinking in the future I might switch up. I'm not going to go to TikTok. Don't worry about that. That's not my age group. But I might go to this Twitch or something. I'm going to shrink her head a little bit. In fact, in real life, Sarabella actually has a small head. Maybe that's why she's so fun to draw. So we're going to shrink her head a little bit, shrink her face. And I mean, this isn't really even sharp. This is definitely not, if it's Pierre Noir Conte, it's not a good one. It's too waxy. This is smooth newsprint though. So from the jaw up to the side of the temple, this is a line that's sometimes indicated. I've taught it in my portrait class. Let's see, Fred Fixler, I think, does something similar. Or what's the other thing? The thing that Luke teaches that I actually don't know how to do, which is Riley's rhythms. I've never learned them. When I get time, I will take Luke's class. So much to learn in this craft. Or just what works for you. Just gonna indicate where the nose is, just while we're here, just so I have a relationship. Just having fun. Man, this pretty waxy stuff. Let's go for a leg already. We'll have to measure. I'm just guessing where this is. I mean, they're equidistant, okay? But I want to draw the structure, so I'm even drawing through. So I can't see that calf. Her arms are in front, but I need to know where it is. And if I shoot an angle down from her head, I kind of get that side of the foot. I always love how dancers and many girls are so flexible that they have this almost point that happens. I can't point my toes that far. I'm taking yoga with Sarah and her team right now. It's like medieval torture. I'm not physically flexible, and I'm getting a hunch from drawing so much. I'm like hunched over my drawing table. I'm starting in my old age to get a little bit worried that if I don't combat it now, this is shining me in the face, I'm gonna have to pay dearly when I'm older, even older. So it comes somewhere, the elbow's like near that line. And if this was in front of me, it'd be easier for me to judge my angles, but I want to stick it here so you can see in case I need to point to anything. Maybe even we'll elongate her legs a little bit. So she gets close to the edge. If I measured her head, that's how far her body goes. So if that's her heel, let's just see. You know, it's like halfway. So her heel can be a little higher up. And if I go horizontal, I can see the turn by her, in yoga terms, sit bone. I'll check these angles later. I'm not too worried. I'm looking at this thing like at this angle. But I want it, I should have it right in front of me. But we'll be able to judge it when I tilt back later on. If you guys saw that Instagram video I made, I didn't know that my COVID haircut was crazy, but I'm starting to see it here. Like, that's what happens when you cut your own hair, I guess. I really like it. It's gonna become popular, I swear. People are gonna start copying me, hipsters mostly. Elbow. Let's do that angle up. Maybe indicate like kind of a circle shape for the deltoid. So it gives, you know, the tricep drops. I probably have her arms too long here. It crosses just below the crosshair. But whatever. This is just our warm up. So it's not really long pose. It'll be maybe, I don't know if I talk this much and I started late. Maybe it is long pose. I lost the time already. 11 minutes. That's the slowest 11 minutes I've ever drawn. Delicious. It's not really a party, is it? We can see the scapula. So I'll just draw that structure a little bit. And from where her ear is kind of where the trap is coming. Her shoulder blade, the girdle, her acromion process. I am going to have to put this ahead of me because I can tell there's a lot of distortion looking at this angle. It's straight for you almost. Okay, so above the heel, this negative space I have here is the leg fold, the foot, toes go up, scooping them this way, and I'm using a little bit more of the side. I'm using this as an opportunity to sharpen as well. Sharpen my pencil. This is going to be interesting because really the most shadow is that cast shadow here. So she's probably got just off to the side like a front light like this. That's why there's just tone around the edge. The rest of her looks flat, sort of white. She looks like a little angel without, we could put wings on her. Many of you guys have drawn Sarah before. Still using fairly straight lines. And I like to count the hand by kind of drawing like the mitten shape, I guess, is what we're after. So I don't know if you can see the markings I've made on there. So it kind of goes from the thumb to the finger to the other finger, you know. And on this side of the line, whoa, maybe it's like that. Let's shorten that hand a little bit. There's that distance. So rather than, and you can't actually see these lines, cut out the negative space between the hands, and don't draw the fingers, because if you draw them, they end up looking a little too much like mittens. I find that this works a little bit better. People who don't know how to draw hands, they know it. They're struggling with it, and they look globular. They start to get really big because we draw on the outside of every line, so it'd be like my fingers are now like this. Looks more like something else, which I won't say because YouTube might cancel the live stream if I do. Let's put the knuckle line like that. All right, good stuff. I got 7 minutes here. So this isn't how I would draw short pose, for sure not. This is still kind of a long pose idea, structural. It's like a little pressing of the flesh. Oh, can't even spell Atelier right. Doug Swinton is asking where the live stream is. After all these years, he still doesn't know. Doug doesn't need to practice drawing here. He has his own show, his own place to go. What was really interesting to me, I wasn't having a great week. You've heard about it already, things dying. Cars, I mean. And my good friend Melissa reminded me, what you're supposed to be celebrating this week? And I said, what? This was on Monday. I said, what would I be celebrating? And she's like, it's your 4-year anniversary. This beer bug thing has altered time for me. Okay, 5 minutes. I'm gonna just back this off for a second and just have a look at some of my angles. I know it's not your angle, but I can't see things straight the way I'm set up. And you wouldn't want a hairdresser, you know, not looking from the right place. You gotta have your drawers set up right. You want the angles right, you know? Otherwise you're gonna get an ear cut off. Your dentist, your mechanic, and your artist, we all need to have, especially in a visual art, have things set up the way, to the best ability. If you don't have the best ability, you gotta use your skill and imagination, of course. So I'm gonna draw in, somehow I grabbed the layout pencil again. That's where her eyebrow would be. Darken her eye. Cheek goes from the ear to the side of the mouth. There's our mouth. Ooh, it's looking kind of robotic. Bottom lip. Little chin. After I'll tag this with Sarabella and the photographer whose name is on here. Gotta give him props. But we'll just count this as our warm-up. I haven't been drawing as much as I've been painting, and I can't actually post what I'm painting right now. But shortly, I will be revamping my personal YouTube channel, which brings me back quickly to a thought that I had. So when Melissa told me about my 4-year anniversary. Thanks for her reminding me. You know, she set up the Facebook. She helps keep me in order. She's done a lot around the studio. She worked here last year until the beer bug hit, and then I had to lay me and her and everyone, even the models, off. But where was I going with that one? Nice. So I thank her. I thank all of you guys who join me all the time. It's been a real dream. And I went on to my personal YouTube station, Mr. Brian Batista, which I've had like 10 or 12 years. It's not like I'm trying to monetize or get famous here. I'm just doing what I love. And there's proof in that. But when I opened this place, honestly, I only signed a year lease because I spent all my savings, like $28,000. You can watch the videos of this room empty. It's like episode 34. Me here painting it and building the donkeys and setting up the furniture and doing the model stand. And I pretty much had the same mustache as I have now, which is funny because I haven't had a beard since then. But I mean, I seemed way younger and to me more naive and dreaming, but I really didn't think this was gonna still be here 4 years later. And now I feel after 4 years that it's kind of like having a degree. Like I'm finally, if you haven't signed up, I'm finally putting out a proper newsletter. I never put energy into the newsletter. I was like, this is what we have. We have such a large student base here. And really the studio, when operational, we're going okay for an art school. I'm not trying to make millions of dollars, and I'm one guy. There's only so much I can handle anyhow. And we're not big enough for me to keep staff like Melissa around. She's working at Lock Gallery now, so I'll probably never get her back. A shame. That was one of the best decisions I ever made, was hiring help. Because this is just, it's too much for one guy to do. But I managed to pull it off most of the time. I need the support of friends and family, and I thank you guys all who have been here. Some of you since the very start, which is amazing, because 4 years is really, you know, my ACAD Arts degree was 4 years. Sorry, AU Arts now. Why can't I get that right? Old habits die hard, which is also why you need to practice. You gotta get out of your regular grooves. I guess I'm gonna start putting some values in here. So underneath the arm, when I squint my eyes, is fairly dark. And I'm just abstracting the shape into kind of, and it's soft by the way, but it curls along the breast. I'm gonna have to drop the breast past this fold line. I don't have it quite in the right place. Here, her shoulder should actually be up here. I guess we're early enough into this drawing. There's why I like the Pierre Noirs. They're dark, they're black, not quite as black as Prismacolor, but I just erased it, you know? So you get that value. Although I'm not 100% sure this is even Pierre Noir. It seems like it. Seems waxy. I started late. I'm just gonna keep going. I've got my tea here. I've been so busy with this mural project we're doing in here, and then the dead battery and all that stuff. Tomorrow I start teaching at the teachers convention. So that's kind of why this night is a little bit thrown together. Those other nights, what you see is me working, but there is a lot of prep that goes into it. You know, it takes me almost a half an hour to get the room set up, the light ahead, the TV, the microphones, the cameras above me. And then the takedown, and then I feel real tired after. And then I have to go into the YouTube and upload and do the end screens and all that. So this isn't a 3-hour adventure I'm giving away here. Anyone who does video productions or other live streams, it's not as live as you would think. Some of the other people I've seen doing it, they have like intermission buttons, and I'm gonna build that for this. So like we could have a countdown when we take the 5-minute breaks. I could put different videos up and stuff. I have to make them first, of course. But I'm teaching After Effects tomorrow for the teachers convention. God bless the teachers, one and all. I'll be teaching them how to do motion graphics and teach their kids. And I've never taught it on Zoom before, but my animation class since last semester has been going very good. A lot of people wanted Zoom classes for art, and I've seen some teachers are doing it. I tried it. It didn't work for us here. Bobby did a class, Jeff did a class, I did 3 or 4 classes. One of the issues is you can watch me do a demo, which I'm doing here. Like, you know, it's free. Check it out. There's like 30 of these and classes on the Atelier Artista and a bunch of stuff on my personal one. So you don't really need to pay for like demo classes here. But you need to promise yourself the time. That's a huge block. Or space, which is what the studio has to offer. What I found was like painting classes and stuff, unless the students had as complex a technical setup as me, I couldn't see what colors they were mixing or how they're applying the paint. So painting classes didn't work for me. I'm not sure how the other teachers are doing it. A lot of other, like the Atelier classes are very different than a lot of art classes you get around the town. It is hands-on, skills-based learning, but you need someone with a trained eye to give you critique, you know? And it's hard to give critique if all you got is a phone or a crummy iPad and then you've got to lift it up and turn it. It's not, and it's lower resolution, it's not giving a great advantage, in my opinion, for your education. Spend your money on buying these art videos. I'd be happy to recommend thousands of them. Spend your money on really good reference books and buy art from artists that you like, you know? Don't think that, you know, for me, yeah, this is a business, but it's not the same way. Like, I get enough commission work that I don't need to even open this place. But I love the community and I want Calgary arts to be better, because every time arts get better in the city, artists like myself and others and yourself are able to sell artwork, because it also comes from upping all of our knowledges and appreciation for craft, for skill. I mean, some of you know after doing this how bloody hard this actually is. Like, this is not a walk in the park by any means. What's cool is I've also been able to see my improvement through just this consistent practice. So I'm moving this hand up. The hand too is like the least important thing. It's the most complex, but it's these big shapes that really matter. So let's find out where this leg goes. I like where it is. I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna stick with it. Why not? Now the leg is in front of the fold, so make sure that the leg is a stronger line than the fold. If I overlap the fold, it looks like the fat of the fold, not the fat because she's big, is going over the leg. And overlap, which is one of our Renaissance words in the kids' classes, but it's good enough for us too. Overlap is a way of showing what's in front or closer to you. And so we can use line here. This is a line, not just tone. And if I look across horizontally, it's in alignment with the elbow. Because this is like a puzzle, I do need these things to line up. Line, line, line. I can take a measure here as well and just check. That's pretty good. I might need to put the hip out, right? As long as the puzzle pieces intermingle and lock with each other, your drawing should resemble as accurately as possible what you're drawing. We're not going to do the comparison either today because I don't have these up on the big screen. So we'll just have to look side by side. And the cast shadow, which is falling on the leg, should represent the roundness of the leg. So I like to overemphasize the curve of a shadow and harden the cast shadow line. So there, okay, look, there's a little groove along the vastus. The leg is actually quite flat here. So I'm gonna flatten it, point it a little bit, and then bring it around behind the leg. Now that's hard to see in this image. It's our job, as we get better, to translate these things more than what we see. Maybe not go so extreme, but this cast shadow rounds this leg, because there's nothing really to show me rounding this leg. There's a little bit of halftone showing the flexion and the trochanter here, and then there's shadow on this side as it's going away. But I'm taking full advantage of the fact that I've got this cast shadow. It's also, there's a little groove right there. And then if you look, the shadow curves underneath the leg. That shows overall it's this object's roundness. So let's darken that in. Probably only have 3 values here: the shadows, the halftones, and the part of the paper I didn't draw on. Alright, that seems pretty simple for the first drawing. I don't know, I hope I've given myself enough time here. I don't really have a big plan. This is kind of an exercise for my shoulder, a little bit for my eyes. This is working different for me. Normally I am looking as if there's a model here. If you do go back and watch those YouTube videos about how I built the place, which are entertaining. I mean, the mustaches I had. I thought the mustache I have right now is funny. And I look so tired in them. Because I was tired. I was working for the first year or two that I opened this atelier. I was still working full time as well. Because I was worried. Like I taught at ACAD, AU Arts, at nights. I taught at Quick Draw. But I was worried that I wouldn't be able to afford this place without still working. This whole idea that it's like, just quit your job and you'll make your dream come true because you won't have a choice. If I couldn't pay my rent, I wouldn't have a choice, and I wouldn't have a place to live either. So I kind of doubled it up for a while there. And then I moved in January 3rd because the first people to move in on January 2nd were my neighbors across the way. And what cSPACE had done is had them move in and then across the way. Each day we were all staggered because there was only one elevator and you would be locking it up for a certain amount of time. So you booked the elevator for your move-in time. I didn't need much elevator. Most of the stuff I had I could take up the stairs, easels and stuff. A lot of the stuff I just built in the space, which you can see in the video. Alright, so that's looking a little bulgy there. We take it down. No problem. Let's darken these shadows so that we know what we're talking about. This is the very second to last page on the Strathmore newsprint pad, and I find that the last pages, I don't know if they're waxier or something, they're not as nice to draw on, but I am drawing on the back so that I have that padding of paper. But actually, this would be the page that I would be drawing on, this side, but it's cardboard there. So you get this gross texture. You don't get this nice soft smoothness here. And we can smooth that the edge out later. So don't worry so much about some of your more structural lines that you're drawing. Keith! Thanks, buddy. Happy anniversary to you too, my furniture. Keith, you are the guy who's been here as much as me, or at least. And it shows in the strength of your work, your amazing work ethic. We'll just, as for, oh, here's my picture. Whoops. We should take a break here soon, but let's just stop and take a break at 7, which is in 8 minutes. And I can answer any questions and some of these chats, because sometimes I like just yell out in this video, and I realized, well, that probably time-wise doesn't make sense to people who are watching it after the fact, because they're not, to me it seems like a live chat, but it's really not. I'm gonna drop the breast down further. Now it's nowhere near that fold line. Like if I fold it, it's above it, but things have drifted already for me, so we'll just go with the drift. And I'm curving it a little more, so it looks like more pressure pressing against this leg. Just a little bit more dynamic in the drawing, because otherwise things are going to start looking pretty stiff for me, and I don't want that. So this shadow falls along the breast. So the same thing, I'm showing the roundness of the breast, right? You should get good at drawing these shapes. And then underneath the arm. So the cast shadow describes the object it's falling on. Flatten underneath, flattening. There's a little divot here where the vastus is stretched out, and there's flatness and pulling of the tendon there, because this is compression expansion, right? More roundness. I'll soften this out later, but let's emphasize it. Same as underneath the breast here. So let's put the dark, 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 dark shadow. Ah, broke it. Oh boy, let's just, there we go. Use what's shorter. I was pressing pretty hard there. Let's do the same but smaller for these little tiny compression folds. This does not want to stick to this paper. One a little lower. And these lines show the curving of the body, so it gives more cylindrical form, right? I'm not ever doing straight lines. The only straight lines, vertical and horizontal, were my sight lines. Otherwise that flattens out. So the top of the quad is big and bulged, and it actually flattens out. And then what we have, so I'll just do it more as a little divot. And then what we have is more of a flesh fold here. It's a little bit more bulged at the top of the hip there. And if I was to put halftone, I would put it there. So I'll just put a little. I don't know if this camera is even picking it up. The light that I have atop of me is the same light we use in the daytime for rise and draw. Or anytime, sometimes when we have the models in here, we do the top-down light. I've had to do the top-down light at the end there to get as many people in that I wasn't losing money here. But what sucks about that is some people, the ones who show up late, the model tends to favor towards the window because that's where the light's coming and they know what they're doing. So I'm going to curve the calf. It's going to drop down. So there's this kind of almost a straight line of flex between the calf and then the front of the tibia bone. And so I'm going to take advantage of that, put it in there. It's a little bit structural. And then curve down the calf to show its roundness. There is a line between the two that's darker. I know I said two values, but I'm saying light, halftone, and then some sort of dark. But there might be a slightly darker dark. But your darks can just be one value. They can be flat. The back leg, I'll be drawing with the soft edge of my pencil. And the reason is it's a little further away. It should be blurry. And things that are a little closer or hard, like an elbow, like this, I'll use the very tip. So that kind of gives a little bit like, I don't know if it's taking up room in your brain to think like that, but the hard, dark edge or overlap brings something a little bit closer. And so if I want to send this leg back, I can tone it and shade it, but also soften the line on it to make it less important. And then focus my interest and drafting ability on the area that's interesting, which is this really complex area. Like all this fold stuff, it doesn't really enhance the overall shape or composition. It's factual, it's there for sure, but even if you did without it, it wouldn't take away from the realism. So you can get away with like not putting all this stuff in. You think about what a cartoon is, it's a simplification. That's all the information that you really need to make it work. But part of the reason why we want the darks here and these halftones is because we can see flexion in her serratus here. And so that's the darkest light, or part of it. We can see a little bit of rib going up. This is scapula here. And there's a darker tone behind it. It's not the scapula itself, there's muscles on top, but sometimes I like to draw a little bit of feathering of the direction that I want the eye to travel as it, or what, it's not the muscle itself's direction, but the way that form is following. Okay, and so the back. Slightly curves down like that. And it's in tone. It's got some value on it. If you squint your eyes, you'll see that the light parts are a little more to this side. Her cheekbone, her wrist, her knee. Whereas this, it actually also looks more tanned. There's a lot more value of color here and along the waistline. Maybe it was summer and good old SB was wearing a halter top. Highly doubt it. I know the girl, she wouldn't. It's not her style. But her neck gets lots of sun. Okay, this continues out. I'm not sure if the camera's picking this small stuff up, but I can see it, so we'll put it on there. We'll put it on. Harry, thanks for coming to the party. It's not the same kind of party that I normally throw. Late or not, I'm just glad you showed up. It's nice to know people out there think that this, it's not just me, thinks this kind of sit and draw is important. I always look forward to what you guys are drawing after this session. I like to see what Keith is posting. He draws along and listens, maybe. Honestly, I don't even care if you're drawing the same thing as me, or even listening to what I'm saying. It's like, we've been putting in this time together for 4 years now. That was one of the things I promised myself, is that I would keep up the Wednesday night drawing. So as soon as this forced closure happened, I think I got to be careful how I word it too, because I'm not monetized, but YouTube is very particular. Maybe if I even bad talk YouTube, they'll remove it. I don't know. I really don't know. But even just showing up helps me on this algorithm. You know, people can't find it or even see it. If no one's watching it, it's like, if you're the not cool kid, you get very unpopular very fast. And I was always used to that in high school. But now it's transferring over into my love of art. How dare they? I'm not on TikTok or anything, but Kirsten was here yesterday doing some drawing, and she was at least 12 feet away from me. We're still fall, even though people are coming and having appointments, we're keeping extreme distances. But she was showing me girls her age, which is 23. She's been a student of mine, and she taught the kids classes here since she was 16. and she was showing me some of these TikTok artists. And I'm late to the party on that one, guys. Palm Strings, hello! I love it. California. You from California are lucky. Although I'm surprised you're even inside if it's nice out there. It's been like minus 25, so hopefully you know what Celsius is. My car wouldn't start kind of cold. Gives me an excuse to hunker down and draw. Because if it was nice out, I'd want to like roller skate or something. That's what you do down there in Cali, right? I appreciate you guys all being here. Hopefully we're having some fun. I'm really taking it slow. I thought I would do 2 drawings, but now I'm like, it's just going to be 1. The other drawing, I'm thinking about Tantone paper, like maybe we'll do it next week. And I'll ask Sarah who this photographer is so that we can properly give out the proper shouts out. Because that is the right thing to do, for sure. I thought earlier I'd be like, it'd be funny to say that photographers are a dime a dozen, but good photographers are not a dime a dozen. Just like good drawers are not. We're all artists and we need to stick together. And we can't be like, if photographers have to start working weddings for free, and bands, oh, they're hooped. Right? Us artists are always the last to that one, aren't we? Oh, can you just draw me? It's like, holy narcissism. I get so many requests, but no one wants to pay for drawings. Or people who just want a model. And they want the drawing, like I get that. But why would I pick you and do a drawing to give you all that work? Now, if you're a real model, like the models we have here, yeah, sure, I'll do that once in a while. But I don't want to devalue the work. I'm hoping that by sharing this with you on video, that you guys get something out of the fact that I'm just here practicing anyhow. I love having a studio. There were years before I opened the atelier that I didn't have one. It's too expensive in the city. I had one in Ray's basement. Actually, the last couple videos, when I was doing those big paintings of Shiva and Kali, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you would have seen them. Those were done in Ray's basement. It's very small. The camera was all the way outside the door to take that video. And it wasn't conducive to creativity. Like, I hope people feel when they come to Atelier Artista, they feel like it's their studio. I know that it's my studio, I guess. It's not my working studio, but I built this place for you guys. I have a studio still, but I wanted it to be inviting, and I tried to make the nicest place I could. You know, we have the coolest furniture. It's breaking again. We're going like this now. And that's because you can watch videos and watch me build it. I designed it myself. I had a carpenter help me cut stuff because there's a few things that with my tools I wasn't able to do. I have like 2 drills, a skill saw, and a screwdriver, you know. I don't own a garage or anything, so I can't have a table saw. So this carpenter could router out some of the grooves I needed. But you can watch the videos how I built them. And there are things I would change about the design. So if you want to build your own donkeys and stuff, I'm happy to give you my plans and what I would improve, of course. So if you have the ability to build them, please do. I'm sure you could probably sell some to students because, you know, drawing on this donkey is phenomenal. Sitting here is comfortable. I can go for a long time. Being on video helps remind me not to slouch, but you look over it, you know, this is flat, but the model being in front of you, and you can sit for hours, right? People have been doing it watching Netflix this whole time. So it's a really good way of working at first, rather than having a bunch of desks or something in here. Seemed to make the most sense to me. And also, easels can be tiring, and it's a skill to learn how to stand and work at an easel. I don't like to stand that long. I'd rather just sit, and also because my butt isn't moving, it's easier to draw in proportion because you're not moving back and forth. You're stuck in place. All right. So much talking. I guess that's a skill I've earned during this lockdown. It's like, you know what? This is much nicer to draw with on this paper right now. This is wolf's carbon. Oh, I was in the wrong world there. I'm starting to think that there's been a bad batch or two of the Pierre Noir Conte. I don't know if they're a few years old or, the French are out there. They had the yellow jackets. They're out there protesting. So maybe they're not making as good drawing stuff because it's tired of being held down by the man, the Macron man. I do not mean to be political. I'm sorry, it's totally inappropriate in art. Who cares? I already know I'm not essential, so life is easier. I've always known, but it's nice to be told. Okay, so let's put the arch in her foot. And then there's like a little turn. Maybe I'll just abstract and leave the foot for now. There's the shadow, the cast shadow along the bottom. And I'm showing that turn. And it goes down to the heel. So think about it abstract. I don't have the whole foot drawn here. Turning this way. Turning this way. And just darken it. And I'm not going to worry about, at this point, if I squint my eyes, it matches. Like, I can put a little line in there signifying the foot, but it's the same value, essentially. Dark gray background, shadow on foot. Slight separation here, but use these optical opportunities. Whoa. Optical opportunities. My concepts that I have for teaching and stuff come up like that. I can't believe I haven't thought to say it like that before. So today, during the somewhat celebration, came up with something to expound upon some more. All right. So, just showing the separation of the feet. I think they're getting a little big here, but toe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect, good enough. We'll worry about the rest of those later. Worry about them later. You guys will notice I didn't do the Pontemora timing. Nah, it's not like a regular session. But I do encourage you to learn timing so that you know what you're capable of for these live sessions. Because we get caught up a lot of times in details. Like those. Why am I bothering? I'll get the heel in from the other foot. Sure. The There's like a nice curve from the hip down the foot. I might have to bring this foot back further. This looks too thin. They both kind of look strange to me. Probably my own doing. When I back up, I also find that there's always a problem. This close down,